YouTubers, if you're, well, it's too early. I'm going to give you guys a second or two. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. How's everybody doing this Friday? What do we got going on? We got Party Parrot in the chat tonight. If YouTubers are hearing music, they shouldn't. If you're hearing like full quality but quiet music, that keeps persisting when I stop talking. You shouldn't be hearing that, and I need to look at my settings. But I looked at my settings just now, and the desktop audio should not be going to YouTube and the VOD. It's all just through the lapel microphone. So I turned down my monitors a little bit, and I think that'll tamp it out. I think that'll end the rogue music getting into my beautiful and copyright safe stream. I don't know how like adamant they are these days if they're gonna catch, you know, every frequency. Because in the past, that's what they would do. They would catch literally anything you did. Ooh, wow, very few viewers. I guess I rated out all of the bots that came with Uo's raids. Uo raided in here with a billion people, and that probably included a bunch of bots unintentionally, and then I raided them into paleontologizing. So now I have 3 viewers at the beginning of the stream. That'll ramp up as we keep going. And it's Friday. It's Friday. Hopefully everybody's touching grass. I would hope. What does this camera look like? Oh yeah, that's crunchy. That is a crunchy camera. Let's do the setup on it. I'll have to find a good camera angle for that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Well, nothing lost. At least we do that calibration. And then we do this one. These are little algorithms that I put into the Stream Deck, and it allows me to get the camera working again. Because these Logitech cameras, they really don't like to function. to put it as lightly as I can. To put it as lightly as I can, they don't like to function. All right, there are people going in and out of the front door. I'm going to turn off the alerts for 2 hours. I'm erping. I did a lunch experiment, and the lunch experiment, I don't really know if I succeeded, to be honest. I think I could succeed if I did the right stuff, but hold on, I'm gonna pause motion for just a second. Where is that? Snooze alerts. 2 hours. Start the snooze. And we'll go to the garage. Do that too. The cameras I specifically use for when I'm the only person home streaming, so that I know if people are coming and going, if I'm getting packages and stuff. Alert snooze, 2 hours, start the snooze, done. Okay, cool. So those will shut up after one more alert. It just helps me keep this place, you know, running. What was I talking about? What was I saying? What we're gonna try to do is make this thing control the different packets that are going through, and then hit up every address with what we think would be a backlight signal. Thing is, like, what other signals do you broadcast to every other device? You tell it to be awake, and you tell it to backlight itself a certain amount. I don't know what else you would say, so what else would go in that packet? That's why I'm thinking it's only 2 bytes. Our only example comes from a water pump, and that had 2 adjacent addresses, 26 and 25. I really should get like a window motor or something, because those also use LIN bus these days. And if I got like a window motor, maybe I would be able to observe on the line. The other thing we could potentially try is getting the seat over here. That would be a big to-do to get that over here, unless I can magically power up this other computer that I bought, and we could look at the LIN bus that this thing is talking, because this would be probably trying to say something. Or, oh man, that would be a lot of work. And it's gonna eventually happen. Ow. It's gonna eventually happen, but I'm going to have to figure out what the BMW F10 CAN bus backlight code is. And if I can figure that out, I can send it to the seat, and the seat has its own little LIN bus going to the button panel. And so the button panel might get a backlight signal, and we can copy that signal, and then we can send it to this thing that happened to be a BMW F10 part, and also speaks LIN bus, but it's on a different LIN bus. But this would also pay attention to a backlight signal. I don't see why a manufacturer would change what that backlight signal is. I don't see why they would change it. Mercedes-Benz, different company, potentially different signal. Oh, wait a minute. What chat just popped up? Oh, YouTube just magically popped up. That was kind of neat. Let's see. Anything going on in YouTube? Nobody's talking. I'm going to test this. Okay, it's not on the right channel. Oh, no, yes it is. Okay, that worked. Okay, cool. Wow, YouTube automatically popped up. That was nice. It kind of saved my ass. It didn't do that the other day when Julian was here. We had no YouTube commentary at all. I feel bad. YouTubers aren't people, though, so maybe I shouldn't feel so bad. It's quiet. We got a quiet day today. Which is fine because we've got Arduino programming to do, and I better start up Arduino. I reset this computer because it was in dire straits when I left. I basically, like with my dying breath, I handed you guys over to paleontologizing. I didn't go back to his chat, but paleontologizing's a cool guy. A lot of good content, a lot of cool stuff going on over there. It's going to take forever. Hey, what's up, Walrus? How's it going? We're having a quiet start to things. Bonk. Okay. No. And now we scroll without weird pauses. Ah, oh, that feels so much better. That feels so much better. Oh, God, I've got 3 windows of scrolling code. Because I've got my monitor window, and then I got the YouTube monitor. Let's put that over to that. There we go. What's going on there? That's loading. I just like only 20 hours ago restarted this computer. No, I haven't used the computer since I restarted it. I hit restart and then I walked away. Far, far away. Okay. Well, I'm inclined to get started because otherwise I'm just going to be kind of twiddling my thumbs here. I don't have a ton to talk about at the beginning of stream. Not that much has happened between yesterday and today. Nothing really, just neighbors moving away, so there's been a lot of to-do going on. Both corgis got to see each other again, and the boy corgi was jumping around. He's very cute. His name's Quillen. Yeah, other than that, I've been doing like dog walking. That's all I've been doing. Hey, that involves touching grass, so it's not bad. But yeah, my social circles have vanished. Everybody kind of turned the corner of the age that I am, and they've either moved away or they've got kids that they're worried about. Like, there's nothing. I got this, and you guys. I gotta pick something up and maybe get out there and do something. You know, join a club or something. I'll figure that out one day. Until then, I am streaming. Let's get to work, huh? We should get to work. We should do something cool. I think I'm ready to do something cool. Yoink. Get rid of the music. Get rid of the start soon. I'm gonna hit the ground running. We got work to do. What we got done last time, and by the way, just as like an intro, what are we doing here? I don't know. What are any of us doing here? For me, it's all about figuring stuff out, learning things, and then getting stuff to properly work, right? Adventure times. Yeah, exactly. I want to build a simulator rig, but I'm a weirdo. I don't want to build like a normal simulator rig. I want to build something that speaks more to my soul. And I'm a dumb rich kid, right? Not really. I'm not rich. I don't make any money. No, but I've always loved cars, and not knowing every single little fact about a car. Like, hey, look at that mirror. That's this model number, and that's not me. I like working on kind of janky cars. That's kind of where I've always been. You get something that's kind of nice but old, and you keep it running as long as you can. Man, baby chairs. Yeah, it's the masturbatorium. But anyway, so I like the feel of an old luxury car, and maybe a new luxury, who cares? But the point is, we can get stuff for the simulator rig for pennies on the dollar because everything is becoming computerized now, it's harder to share parts. We've discovered that a lot of these parts that actually we're using, like the chair, is actually pretty beloved by classic car guys, because you can put a modern chair in your classic car and have all of the comfort and safety and all that stuff of a modern chair. So that's there's a little bit of overlap, but a lot of the stuff we're doing, like people don't, they're selling this headlight switch, which just does not break in a car, for $20 just to get rid of it, right? $20 for an entire like microcontroller switch panel. The only thing is we got to play a guessing game with it, because this speaks digital. It speaks ones and zeros instead of the classic multiple wires that represent the position of multiple things. Going back to like a bigger computer, we put a smaller computer in this thing. This speaks digital to everybody else. But you're wearing my shirt. This is I don't wear this one as, if I'm wearing jeans, I can't wear this because then I'm all blue. This one's good though. People like the shirts that have white in them, but the one that has like a lot of white, the one that I think looks really good from here up, is too short. My stomach is too big, and so I end up having like underboob stomach in that shirt, and I can't wear it. I wore it the other day, and I immediately got comments about how short the shirt was. Being fat sucks. Anyway, if I lose more weight, which I'm working on, I'm getting there. Hopefully the stomach deflates a little bit and these shirts will fit again, and I'll have a whole new wardrobe. I'm down to like four shirts. It's a good 3D shirt. Yeah, it's like the Science Museum, when they have like a red light and a blue light and you switch between them and you see different patterns. That's what the shirt does. It looks like a different shirt depending on what color light is hitting it. Anyway, so yeah, we can buy these parts for like pennies on the dollar. This is a couple $100 because it's a steering wheel, and steering wheels are kind of serious business. But it has all of these wonderful digital buttons. These two speak one language. All the other stuff in the car, like the shifter over there, that speaks CAN bus. So we need to make an adapter that speaks the digital language of these two guys and adapts it over to CAN bus so that we can put it on this stuff with the car seat. Because I've got a real steering column with motors in it, a real BMW seat with a whole ass computer in it. It's like, it's smarter than me. It's smarter than me. Look at the size of that microcontroller. It's smarter than me. It's got like a Pentium. Ridiculous. For a chair has a Pentium. Stupid. Anyway, we can speak CAN bus to this thing and power it up. What people do with like the classic cars and stuff, if you plug this thing into 12 volts, it'll act kind of weird because it's not getting any CAN bus signals. So you spoof CAN bus, not boof, spoof. You spoof CAN bus by sending it a square wave. You can just get a little square wave generator and make a 1 kilohertz square wave to go to this, and that'll keep it awake. And then you can adjust your chair normally and do all that stuff. There are some things in here that we can only access through CAN bus. We've got the side panel controls. My brother gave me a driver's seat. He probably should have given me a passenger seat, to be honest. A driver's seat is a lot. Like, that could get more money on eBay. I don't know if he's looking to sell it or not. He upgraded his interior on the same car. So I got the leftovers that I was begging him for. And I got this whole car seat. This has motors in it, like the headrest motor, that we can't access through that side panel. So getting into CAN bus is a necessary evil. And it'll be totally awesome when we do, because if I'm accessing CAN bus digitally there, if I can speak to all of the stuff, if I can move all the controls that we don't have access to, I can also hand them off to you, the viewers. And so we can have a whole bunch of shenanigans going on with the steering wheel adjusting, with the seat back going all over the place, the lateral movement, the heater in the seat. I'm assuming that there's a heater in that seat. It's the sport seat. It's less featureful than the luxury comfort seat or whatever, but I have a feeling there's a heater in there. I just have this feeling that there is, and it'll be digitally accessible through the CAN bus. So we're gonna get to doing the CAN hacking. Until we're gonna get to the CAN hacking, I need to do the LIN bus stuff. We are experts in LIN bus on this stream. Everybody here is an expert. We know more than the insider, the industry professionals, about LIN bus, because we've had to be embroiled in it for the previous iteration of the steering wheel project. In order to get all of the statuses of the buttons out of this thing, we need to hit it with a particular LIN address, 3C. in order for it to spit back out all of its information. We're gonna make you sweat. Yeah, it's gonna be like, did I piss myself? Oh no, never mind. Chat's just messing with me, and then I'll have to like hit a button to turn off the heater. There's actually the steering wheel has a wheel heating setting. I don't think this one does. I don't think this has a heater in the steering wheel. It would be interesting if it did, because nothing is as profoundly annoying as sitting in a car chair and having it unintentionally be heated. It's like, why does it feel like this? This is terrible. So we've been working on this thing. This is the headlight switch. This has the backlight intensity control on it. But this only creates a packet to tell you the status of the buttons. A lot of these devices are like two separate devices. One is the things that it can tell you, and the other is the things that it does, like can control. This can turn on backlights. We have evidence of a water pump that accepts a LIN bus packet with 2 bytes, and one of them is just the RPM control, 0 to 255 RPM, and then a 0-bit, and then checksum. So we went through the effort of sending all of that stuff. Ours wasn't 00, ours was FF, wasn't it? Maybe we should try 00ing the packet instead of FFing the packet. Maybe that's the way we need to go. Just thinking about that. So this is my own program. This one stems off of all of our efforts. What's that? Hold on, I'm gonna catch up with Wheezy Peasy. Sorry. Where's that chat window? Oh, I don't have it open. Where's my social stream? Hold on. Control Shift T. One more. No. Okay. Let's see if we can just find it. Social Stream Ninja. I think the long one is the blade that I'm looking for. This is just how I read chat. I have my own little window, and then the same system powers the on-screen chats. So I get to just see what everybody's doing all at once. I get a nice big window of it, and that's why I wasn't able to read Wheezy Peasy. Let me move Wheezy Peasy over. See what's going on. Cars have gotten fancy as fuck. It's all to save copper. If you can have a 16-bit microcontroller at your endpoint for whatever the system is, then you can have 12 volts in one wire, right? Instead of 6 wires going to something. So it's a lot of effort, and it's a lot of interesting like advancement of technology, because you're like, for me working on cars, I'm like, where is this going? Like where's this technology heading in the future? It turns out controller area networks are the thing, but CAN bus requires 2 wires. It's a lot faster and it's a lot more noise averse, but LIN bus uses 1, and so they save 1 wire. And if you are counting the beans as hard as they do with cars, that's huge. Like, that's a big deal. You get weight savings, and you get expense savings, and you get more complicated diagnostics from things. If something doesn't work because a switch is broken, it'll tell you instead of you having to troubleshoot all the way down the row. Like the windshield wiper motor breaks, right? So it's not the switch, it's the motor. And then the motor sends you a signal and says, hey, I'm broken, or I'm trying to do this thing in spite of the position of the switch. So it's more isolated systems can give you better diagnostics. It's pretty cool stuff. The seated heat feature helps with cramps and how you impress women. Now, I don't know if that impresses women. I think it just makes everyone think that they've peed themselves. I don't know what circles you're hanging around in, but yeah, so overall, all this stuff makes sense, right? It's pretty cool. You can get information from your water pump, like the temperature or the supposed velocity of the water, I guess. I don't know. This person made an entire Python program that would pull this thing, and they found that if you sent it a 2-byte packet, and it has to have a checksum, so it's technically 3. If you send it a 2-byte packet at a certain address, it'll change its speed. Going on this as the basis of our theory, I'm assuming that there is an address that we can transmit to that will describe the amount, the ferocity of the backlight. We tried, I put together this whole program based on the comprehensive steering wheel program. Steering wheel program was nuts because this is the only LIN bus device, and then I made 3 other LIN bus devices for the shifter and the pedals. And then we got all that working on a network, and then I got the program to emulate a Bluetooth modem so that we could access extra buttons from the Granite Devices controller. It was a whole thing. It was a lot of really hacky stuff, and it was hard to explain, way too complicated. But I won. I got it working, in spite of what everybody was telling me. I got everything working perfectly. And then I discovered that when your simulator setup clips to the side of a desk and it also weighs 20 pounds, you kind of never use it. It kind of just sits for like a year without getting used. So this is not the most intelligent endeavor for my time and money. It also, though, opens up a space in front of Burn the Subs. So I can actually get to Burn the Subs to work on that more. And we'll have a Burn the Subs stream in the near future. 2 weeks. We'll have one in 2 weeks. We'll have a Burn the Subs stream where I'll work on Burn the Subs. He thinks from my own experience I was impressed. It made me feel better. Okay, well, I misinterpret a lot of very innocent comments on this stream. I can get to Burn the Subs. I can work on this thing. This thing is getting bigger and bigger. But I can actually run a bunch of streams from here. I got a lot of like good sim games that we can play. And the project is partially part of the whole thing. I just been collecting all these gaming parts for a century. And now that I have all this stuff, I need to actually put it all to use. Putting this all under one blanket is going to be a series of fascinating projects. And so we're embroiled in one right now. We're going to try to get this backlighting. But I'm sort of at ends with this because we did try a couple adjacent addresses and it didn't quite get us what we were looking for. I want to try 1 or 2 other things before we actually like start programming the whole like button masher, because we're gonna have to brute force it. That's what we're doing today. But I realized that I've been sending it FF, I think. Hold on, let's check. It's where we make the packet down here. FF. What if I send it 00? So we'll go with 0. We'll do it in order: 0, 1, 2, and then in this case, our address headlight transmit. We're gonna keep. Actually, let's make that 3, 0, 3, because again, we're going by conventions, and I don't think a giant corporation that creates like decent cars, I think there's going to be a pattern to this. The headlight switch is addressed as 2. Here's the other confusing thing that I didn't mention. LIN bus 2.0 allows the controller to reassign addresses. How do you say words? My favorite arcade game was a car driving one where you sit inside and had a steering wheel and pedals. Yeah, it's a lot of sim people do this, right? I could have bought something that was very cheap, and actually I've seen some of the stuff that I was looking up for the seat. Other sim racers have, you know, those minimalistic rigs, and they buy a whole car seat and strap it to there. It's just like everybody's using these BMW chairs, but they always get the luxury one. I didn't get the luxury one. I got the sport one. So there's not like a massager in it. There's a massager in the luxury seat. It's crazy. I don't need that kind of stuff, but it would be kind of funny if, I mean, we could always, you know, at some point, if I take apart like you know, one of my many Hitachi magic wands that I have upstairs in the bedroom, I could take one of those apart and just stuff it in the back of the seat. And then you guys could vibrate the chair. That's for a later day. That's for when we get more of the system up and running. Anyway, what I'm saying is I believe that it will be in the adjacent address, and maybe perhaps it'll be one off of the headlight switch. I'm assuming that for the headlight switch, and I'm also assuming that the address wasn't reassigned by a controller. If it is number 2, that speaks to me of this being reassigned. This one's 3C. So it's like a bunch of numbers away. This one's number 2. I'm realizing how lucky we were to even get this thing to talk back to us, because the way that the calculation for the parity bits of the address, because when the master controller calls out for its peripherals, the peripherals need to run a check on the numbers to make sure that the signal went in okay, that it's not just triggering off of noise. And so what it does is it does a little like 1 and 0 math equation with the address bits, and then it's got 2 bits behind that are the parity bits. And so that those 2 bits represent whatever numbery calculation that it did on the rest of them. We were doing that wrong, and we still got this thing to reply. Now we're doing everything correctly. We double checked and redouble checked, and we're able to actually pull this for its button positions. But yeah, we got lucky with this one. It's actually for the, I do not own one. I'm just making that up to look like a giant sex pervert. But I don't actually have one. I know they're good. So I am hitting it with 26, or rather the equivalent of 25 to 26. So we're hitting it with 3 because we're 2. So let's try that real quick, and I want to see if that does anything. Okay, so Arduino's already plugged in, so I'm going to hit both buttons, release the reset button, and then release the boot button. And so now that should be ready to go with code. We've still got this all configured properly. We're in the right stuff. I saved it about 250 million times. Oh, speaking of which, save. Always be saving, yo. All right, so let's compile that and upload it. It's going to take a little while on the first compile. The good compilers will kind of keep stuff together between programmings. Like if you change one number, it won't completely upend everything that it has to compile together. I've seen that behavior a little bit with Arduino, this Arduino IDE, but I'm not sure if it totally does that. Other IDEs that I've used have been really good with that. Like the first time you compile, it takes forever, and then you're like, oh, I wrong pin out. Let's change that, and then it like really quickly builds your hex file again. I don't know how much of that goes on with Arduino. It's AVR dudes in the back end, and I don't know how any of these things work. These are all so complicated. It's all so complicated. We're going to keep it simple, though. We're just changing numbers in order to try to hit this thing with a code that it'll understand and respond to. It is taking a little bit. It's a lasagna of layers of code and voodoo magic. Yeah, and you don't want to get into it. AVR dude, back in the day, I was going to try to program AVRs, and I was like, what is this AVR dude's program thing? And I tried to look into it, and I just couldn't find any information that didn't make my head spin. That's where the Arduino really excels, is being just dead simple. You just plug it in, hit program, and you've got a blinking light, and then you can jump from there. Yeah, what's up, Gonad? How you doing? Scanning for RP2040s. Dang it. It didn't see anybody. I'm going to unplug and plug in again. And then hit reset and boot, release reset, release boot. Okay, try again. Now I got to compile the whole damn thing again. That's one of the problems with using Arduino, is that your upload is a compile and upload. To simplify things, in the case of this thing failing to program, I already have the hex file. I could just throw the hex file in again and program it much faster instead of hitting compile. That went a little faster than before anyway. Why are you not finding it? I did the plug thing. I unplugged and plugged. Why do you not love me? Hold on a sec. God, I've got the expanse. Oh, I'm doing it in the wrong order. So reset and boot, release reset, release boot. There we go. Okay, now we're talking. Now I can hit upload. I got to do the button dance because we got this thing plugged into USB and all kinds of other stuff. So, and I've got the serial port running and all that. So we got to get it into boot mode in order to accept code. It's funny, when I hit reset and boot, it started sending signals. There we go. Okay, cool. Now we've got our program in there. So now, on the scope, if I open the serial monitor, that starts our program off. And now we've got a bunch of signals running around. If this change in... No, that didn't do it. No backlight. Curses. So what we want to do is put this into a testing mode. Wait, is that actually getting... That signal's not changing. What's going on there? Okay. What in the world? Like, yeah, that's changing. You kind of see that one. I'm looking at the check bit or whatever. Oh no, it is changing. It's just our sending signal doesn't seem to be changing. That should be drastically different than that. Up, down, up. I mean, it says it's different, at least on the serial print. See that? We're receiving all of those bits, and then that last bit in there before the checksum, or before this just random 4F that it sends, is the fader. And then when we transmit, we're sending it that same bit as the first one, and then we send 0, 0, and then the checksum. But when I'm looking at the code here, the waveform, the smaller one, does not look like it's changing to me. Maybe if we zoom in a little bit, it'll look a little bit more clear. All right, snap over to the wrong one. Come on. Oh, I've only got one key for the trigger. Come on. There we are. Oh, I guess it is triggering off of 2 of them, huh? That's not changing. What's going on? Wait a minute, something's wrong. My serial print is telling me something that's not doing. This should be changing as I move the fader. So here's a bit of a problem. Wonder what's happening there. So the end of our break, and then we hit it with a 0, 0, which we're not really supposed to be doing. Is it trying? Is there a collision? I don't think so. Something weird's going on. Let's take a look. Close this down and turn this off. So what is going on? We're sending 0, 3. And down here, we're making the packet. Our address is equal to parameterized of headlight transmit. So 0, 3 gets the parity calculation on it, and it becomes something else. Backlight of 0 is the headlight position 6. Is that correct? Does it need to be like 7? Position 6 of headlight, and it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is the one that's changing. Also, the fact that it's printing over here tells us that that's correct, and that we've gotten the right thing. So we send, what do we do? Backlight of 2 is the checksum of the address, backlight size, transmit address, so that's where we're sending it, 03. Wait, that shouldn't be 03. Yeah, that shouldn't be 3. That should be something else, because we're putting the parity onto it. Why did it change back to 03? Headlight transmit, ADDI is equal to, and ADDI is a UNT. So we still got problems with the program. Ooh, this might mean that I actually can get the backlight to work. That might just mean that we're going to be okay. UNT, so it is two bits. I forget which one's which. I'm going to get that wrong constantly, and I don't know how you guys tolerate me. Read switch delay, make the packet. This isn't really a thing, nor is this. Make packet just transmits it. But if we're getting stuff back, we're going to read the switch first. When we read the switch, what are we doing? Where is read switch? Right here. Address is equal to the parameterized, and then we call the address. And that one's coming in as 4.2, which is correct. That means that that has had the parity thing acted on and has done, you know, the parity calculation to it. The $20 light switch was a good investment. You know what? Honestly, it really was. It was a good thing that I lost the previous one, because the previous one was dumb. It had all of its controls local to it. So this big thing sat behind the headlight switch, and this was all the switches for your various lighting configurations of the BMW. I lost that one, and I was really frustrated with myself. But I went on eBay and I discovered that these are like 20 bucks. And this is just a little 16-bit, 8-bit maybe microcontroller that controls the same stuff that the headlight switch did. And it's completely and utterly fascinating because we don't really have any information about the specifics of the packets. We know what structure they have, which means that we get to sit there and go, are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And this thing is replying to us. We're getting a reply. That's what this is. That's what all this information ahead of the TX is. That's all the stuff that this thing claps back with when you actually ask it, you know, how its day has been. So in that vein, we're trying to actually affect control over the thing, but we don't have any idea of what specific signals will make it light up. What I'm discovering here is that 03 is being directly transmitted out. Now, we should look at the LIN bus document that has the big table of parity calculations. We could have just put this in as like a table. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually calculate parity. Where the hell? There we go, LIN book. Let's take a look at that table and see what 03 translates to. What we should be seeing. It's somewhere down here at the end of the chapter. This is not a great document to read, by the way. This tells you exactly how the LIN bus communication protocol works, but it doesn't tell you practically. It doesn't give good examples. It has examples, but they're not great and they're not encompassing. It's better to read somebody else's explanation of how LIN bus works. Oh, 03 is 03. Okay, so that part is working correctly. All that parity calculation, it just zeros both of them because it's only two bytes or whatever. So 03 is 3, 02 is 42. And we checked that. We know that we're doing it correctly. This struck me as wrong. But apparently it's not, and apparently no backlights have turned on this thing. So we are sending everything that we should send in the way that we should send them. So our test was completely valid yesterday, and this thing does not work. It doesn't backlight itself based on codes that we've made up so far. We're going to probably have to brute force this. Let me just try a couple more things that we tried yesterday, but I didn't have these zeroed. I had these as FF, but our example has it as 00. So let's try putting it in the other byte field. And then, which one was reset? Which one was boot? Hold on. Okay, boot's the lower one. So you hit both of them, release reset, then release boot. And then close the serial port. Okay. Waiting on you, bud. Why would you not allow me to close the serial port? Oh, we crashed. We're crashing. Everything's crashing. My USB hub crashed. The hub crashed. We had a hub crash. Stream Deck went down. What else is going on? How's everybody? Facecam is frozen. I'm thinking about something. What am I thinking about? Hold on. I gotta go to... Where's my... does this button work? Hold on. No, I need the overlay. I need the overlay version of it. Yeah, it just crashed my USB hub. What the heck? Jerks. Let's, hold on. I need to do studio mode. That's what I need. studio mode, and then I need to go to my overlays. And where's the technical issue? Skeleton, fork, freak, walkies, the fly, the mute. Here we go. Okay, so back over to Facecam. This is the problem with having everything on USB all at once. Oh boy, if there isn't a... That's a weird face that I pulled. Yep, okay, that's back. Who else is on this bus? I think that's just mouse, keyboard, and this camera. Oh man, I look great in this lighting. I'm being raptured. Okay, hold on. Let's oh bother mid flashbang. I need to, well, Stream Deck restarted itself. Let's see if this works. Set up and then do the face procedure. Is that gonna actually, no, it's not changing anything. Okay, so I need to sneeze too. Woo, okay. It's drying out around here. we had a bit of rain and now it's like super dry. So everybody's sneezing and coughing. Okay, I need to exit Stream Deck, the program. This is one thing that I really don't like about Stream Deck is that it's not very good with peripherals coming and going. Audio sync? I'm not certain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine for you? Okay, cool. It's we're very susceptible to one guying here. And there's a lot of stuff between here and there that can go wrong. All right, hold on. I'm starting up Stream Deck again, and then this camera will get out of rapture mode. So, face procedure, go. That didn't go in correctly. We had decent settings for like a second there, and then they went bad again. Let's try that one more time. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's where it should be. The Logitech webcams, when you first plug them in, they forget all of their settings. It's something with like a bug in the drivers, and sometimes you can't affect certain settings, and it just goes this terrible looking mode. So what you need to do is go through a procedure. It's a YouTuber's detailed this procedure where you go through and set certain settings and FPSs, and then it'll kick it back out of that mode, and then you get beautiful 1080p. But yeah, there's also some settings that I have specifically because like this is a face cam. It's focused in a little bit more on my face, so things are a little bit blurry in the background. All those like streamery things, right? And I've got all the multiple light sources, the color temperature, the aperture, all that stuff is set, and it forgets every single time it plugs into USB. And if something unplugs and plugs back in, Stream Deck no longer sees it. All of the weird plugins that I have that do the little algorithm that get it to look like this, those don't reconnect. So I need to restart Stream Deck as well. So if the Stream Deck just like unplugs a little bit, or if my microcontroller completely F's over my weird brand Chinese USB-C hub, that should be pretty fast, but I've never heard of them. So if the microcontroller takes that out, we get in trouble. Okay, anyway, let me get tech issue off there because I think we're back. And then if I want to do game streams and I plug everything into this hub, including the webcam, things get a little weird about bandwidth, USB bandwidth. So I really, you know what I should do is redo this entire stream setup, tear it all down to bolts, and use a couple USB-C hubs along the way, like USB-C hub chained into USB-C hub, chained into another one, and then drop it to the USB 3.0 hubs for all of the peripherals, and that way I can get around the shop and still have all of my stuff running at high bandwidth USB-C, but I'll also have to get good cables, good shielded cables, because these lights alone are putting like tons of that interference that you see on this is caused by the LED lights that I have. We did put a big filter in line. We busted open the pillar of my desk and put a giant like RF thing, like one of these huge filter blocks. It's a big metal block. Okay, overlays. And then turn off this one. I gotta fix the overlays. It's just a matter of going into Stream Deck and clicking a couple things. over and over. Okay, so we're back. We're back to this. We've been sending all the proper packets. I am just jiggling the order of the packets here. Presumably, unless things probably crashed, but if I hit upload, my computer's done crashing, right? If I hit upload, I don't think it'll find the RP2040. I don't think it will. Let's just find out real quick. Do it! Go into my microcontroller. I gotta stop puffing up my cheeks. I've like hurt my cheeks doing that. I'm doing it to be funny, but it like, there's like a crunch noise and then it like stretches out my cheek muscles too much. Okay, so we've programmed our Arduino. Now we need to hit the microcontroller with signals. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys the scope there, open this up, and then we start sending bytes. Why is nothing on the scope? That's changing, but the scope doesn't see anything? Oh, no, that wouldn't. The scope is plugged into USB power only, so that shouldn't be dependent on. Why am I not getting anything on the scope? Jiggle the wire. But we're getting packets into the thing. What the fuck is this? What's happening here? Oh, am I just moved? I'm moved too far over. That's what it is. Doink. There we go. Okay, yeah, there's our shit. There's that shit. And then we're sending all the way out here. That's an eternity. Maybe I should send our packet a little sooner. Yeah, we should get the 15 out of there. We should go a little shorter than that. Wait, that's another... Are we not sending our packet? It says we're sending 6399. Bring that back. Yeah, let's wait. Let's not wait as long. Let's send it like immediately. That'll just make our scope spelunking a little bit easier. Dot 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 dot. Dun 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 dun. We'll do that up here. Send blurp. And then our delay is going to be 5. No, let's do like 1, maybe 2 milliseconds if I'm being kind. And our blurp should be before the big delay. And then void crawler. Let's see. Timers and prints. Void. God damn it. Remember how to type? I don't. Oh, I need to actually put that delay back into the send program. That was... Where did we do that again? I think that was call address. We had it here. I think that was correct. We bit send the address and then we give it a little bit of a pause. Well, let's see if that breaks our program. Let's see if that breaks our program. So I'm going to hit both of these at once, and hopefully it doesn't blow up my computer again. Okay, and then I hit upload, and hopefully it doesn't blow up my computer again. That was actually a pretty graceful recovery considering all the things that happens. I should probably have like a crash recover button on the Stream Deck, and that way it can close itself and open itself again and close whatever else, you know, get the cameras working again. Because it's basically just deactivate and then reactivate the camera. I don't know how much control I have from Stream Deck. Okay, so that's uploaded. Let's open this. We appear to still be communicating just fine. Yep, all that's going through. Oh, but 2 milliseconds is an eternity. Look at all this. Dun, 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 dun. No, no, no. Wait, we're not transmitting. Or are we, and it's just very, very soon? No. No, nuh-uh. What the heck? Well, it looks like our packet is still preserved. We're sending it and getting our stuff back just fine. But then, like, where's our send packet? Where are we sending our stuff? What happened? But yet I have the transmit packet right there. What happened? So we come in here and we read the switch. We have a tiny little delay, and then we make the packet. So there should be a tiny little delay before it makes and sends the next packet. Which that's just the whole packet. Where's our reply? What's up, Bothan? Where have you gone? Why have you done this to me? No, packet, haha. You're too sexy, don't send. That's just the same thing again. What the deuce? Apparently when we're done everything, we just don't even do anything. All right, let's read this again. Read switch, delay, make packet. Am I actually using print serial? I don't think I am. Because, no, read the switch, and that parks it into the things. Make the packet. Oh, set stuff. I disabled set stuff. And then print serial is not, it's not doing anything. Yeah, there's nothing in there. I could probably move all of this stuff to there. Let me do that actually. So take this, cut, and then print serial. Just keep organized so I don't confuse myself in the way that I keep confusing myself. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Now everybody's doing something. So we make the packet and that loads it into some global variables. Then we print out the serial print. Then we set, basically send, it should be set and send, whatever. We set it out to the broadcast, whatever thing. And then we send the little blurb that lets me lock the scope in on the signal so we can see that. I'm a little burpy. That's what I was talking about when I lost that thought train earlier. Man, I'm discombobulated today. I woke up late and barely had a cup of coffee. Anyway, what I was talking about earlier is I'm irpy because I did an experiment. I made bolognese, whatever, ground beef and spaghetti sauce for spaghetti, and then I doctored it today for lunch to be a sloppy Joe. They're not exactly the same, but they're very similar concepts of basically an emulsion of ground beef and ketchup and tomato, and sloppy joes have like pepper and stuff like bell peppers and stuff like that in there. But I had onion and ground beef and spaghetti sauce, and so I just threw a bunch of ketchup and chili powder and smoked paprika in there, and it was okay. It wasn't quite a sloppy joe though. Alton Brown just did a YouTube video that was a sloppy joe recipe. I'll have to copy that one. So everything we're doing is all in order. And now we will actually send it the stuff that we wanted to send it. So both buttons, then release, reset, and then boot. Which one's boot? Boot's the one towards me. So I do doot, doot, doot. Okay, so now that's ready to take code. Oops, I gotta close the serial. Oh no. We still got the cameras working. The camera's still working. Camera's still working. Okay, close the serial thing. This is exactly how I froze it before. I like this part of the project when we get to just kind of playing with the program and playing with how it interacts and what it sends. It's a lot of fun when you have a bunch of functioning structures. Far be it from the systems engineer to appreciate functioning components coming together to accomplish a task. Okay, so now we are sending, and I can see that on the scope. And so now we can zoom in a little bit more on our time base, and that'll tell us everything that's going on, and we know physically that it's sending stuff. So this should change when I move this. It's not. Why is it not change? What the This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking. This is your fault. This is your fault, chat. You did this. You did this, chat. This is you. This is on you. This is not on me. This is on you. What did you do? Why did you break it? If we have not been sending it an appropriate signal this entire time, what the heck? Where are we getting our packet information from? So set stuff. What has already happened is that we've printed the read. Oh, we're printing before we set stuff. Yeah, so that's what's going on. But that should still change. Set stuff is when we output and then we're printing, but all that stuff printed properly. Headlight of 6. Checksum. Backlight, back size, and that's setting backlight 0, 1, and 2. Call address, send the break, bit send, headlight of eye. Oh, that should be backlight. No, yes, backlight of eye. Because yeah, here we're doing backlight of eye too. Okay, so we had the wrong thing in the send, and that's probably what was messing us up. Let's try that again. Doot, doot, doot. And no serial port open. Close. That gave up pretty quickly. That was good. Upload. These are little issues that were in the program before. We just got to kind of pull them out one at a time. So now we're going to be sending the right thing. None of our testing yesterday was doing the correct thing. It was all sending the same address over and over. I wonder what influence this is going to have. Maybe we'll get stuff to work. That'd be pretty exciting, and end the stream early. Just do an instant rage quit. Okay, so now that's changing. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we've got a checksum and a send bit, and then our other packet is still there. Hold on. Yep, our other packet's still there. We can see as one changes, so does the other. Unfortunately, the headlight switch is still not paying any attention to what we are sending it. This thing should light up like a Christmas tree. There you go, get everything on screen at once. Look at all this stuff. Amazing. So as I go through that, nothing is changing. And oh wait, what's going on there? Wait, 0, 0. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that's right. Yeah, 2323 4848. So we're not altering that number at all. That's just going straight through. So we need to close this down again, and I need to set this back to where we're still running off of that initial theory, which is, for those that don't know, we're doing LIN bus, which is a very simple kind of one-wire communication system that cars use. I'm trying to get the backlight running on this thing. We already got this to respond to our messages, and that's what you see over here in these waveforms, is you can see as I move stuff on this, the waveform changes. There's a checksum at the very end, so that changes if anything else changes. So if the checksum is different, that means something's changing. That's why you see two different fields at once changing their numbers. In both packets, because they both have checksums at the end, like this here. This is a water pump that somebody else hacked, and it's pretty cool because it gives you all kinds of cool information back, and if you send it a 2-byte packet, it'll change its speed. And that's what I'm assuming the headlight, or the backlight is going to look like. I'm assuming this is what backlighting is going to look like. It's going to look like just a packet that says, hey, light up to this integer, right? So let's move these back to their original order and upload that. Or did I just upload it? No, this is the old one. Okay, so doot, and then upload. We're just emulating that other one. I assume that it's going to be very simple. But we may need to brute force it because it might be more of a universal command. It might be on a unique address, not just adjacent to the headlight switch. It might actually be like 00, or it could be, 4F. I don't know. In earlier editions of the LIN bus, I thought the address of the device told you how many packets were going to be in it, but not sure if that's still the case. The other thing is there a packet that specifically tells this thing how many packets it should expect to receive? That might be a thing too. So it's not that. We don't have a backlight turning on. This may get to the point where I have to break into my brother's house and attach a sniffing device to his headlight switch in order to figure out how this stuff works, because there may be multiple packets that describe the status of the car's lighting. Well, the point is, we've got this all working now. Now we need to build in a couple modes. I need to do a BRB real quick, just because I got to pee. But I'll be back in 2 seconds. Rizan Kizma, Brizza. And then, where's that BRB at? I thought that overlay was on here. I really got to fix my overlays, guys. Oh, there it is. Blink. Okay, I'll be back. Just give me 1 sec. It's going to be quiet for the YouTubers. I apologize. BRB. I just thought of the nastiest overlay that you could possibly do. There's more than a couple games nowadays that have pissing mechanics in them. And I think most of those games are crunchy enough where you could piss somewhere that's monochrome so you can key it out and put it as an overlay. So there would just be peeing from the screen out. And then you'd put the scene switcher on auto. So it would just go from scene to scene. And there would just be pissing going on, like game pissing, where it comes out of the center of the screen. It seems like something that Gonad could pull off. I need that as an overlay. Who's adding me? Somebody's going on earlier than normal. Interesting. Okay, well, anyway, let's get back to some signal hacking here. I want to try a couple more things before we make this into an, not automated, but a manually controlled signal sender, because the 2-byte thing, I think that's going to be it. We're just not totally sure. So I want to make it so that when I hit that button, stuff happens. I just want to try, because we weren't doing it properly yesterday. I want to try to print out, what is it? Wait, what's going on here? Oh yeah, this. We don't need this anymore. I'm going to try to kind of minimize this program and make sure that everything does exactly what it needs to do. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And then we've got functions that do sort of the bit banging. And the checksum. And then my little timer functions. And the blurp sender. No. Why did it delete that? Print readout. I don't think we're using that. Yeah, we're not using print readout, so I'm just going to get rid of it. It's baggage. It's baggage. And these are functions that specifically print to make sure that things look good. And then parameterize is my own parity calculation based on what the LIN bus wants. So I think we're good on all of our specifics. It's still a little disorganized, but it works. So let's set the address to be 0. Perhaps, and this is just assuming things, the very, very first device is the one that tells everybody what their backlighting is. May not be the case, but I'm going to try it. Okay, which one is boot? Boot's that one, so upload. Would be nice if the RP2040 would go into a programming mode for us. But I have to manually hit that reset. This is why Hello World is so important in programming microcontrollers and embedded systems and stuff, is because once you get that down, you can then iterate through like we are now. But yeah, it's everyone is different and weird. Board on COM3 is not available. Why are we doing this now? What is this? I'm going to hit the reset button. Give it a second. There we go. Okay. So we're sending on 0, 0, and nothing's changing. Darn, double darn. Okay, so here's we're gonna let's full send, because I want to test multiple addresses in succession with one another. Now that we've got this thing going in properly and we know that it's sending the correct signals because we get a similar signal back from the device itself, and we can see on the waveform that things are going in properly. What I want to do is I want to use this headlight, this brights button. So that would be BC to BD, C and D. What is a, hold on, binary, hex to binary. I just want the big table, just because I'm not smart. Please just show me the big table. I hate this change in Google. Why every change has to be something more terrible than before. They give you all these wonderful things and then they take them all away, like the ability to open the image directly. We used to be able to save so much time. Okay, You know, I had this on a ruler that's sitting somewhere in front of me. Oh no, I don't know where that went. Never mind. I had it on, I used to have it on a ruler. C and D. So it's basically the last bit. So that's B, C. And then if I flip that, 7, F. So, oh, and that's over there. Oh, geez. Okay, so this switch is like a totally different. And then all the blanked addresses are like features that we don't have on this thing. It's kind of cool. So that whole thing is the slider. That byte. Oh God, why are they? Why does it span two things? It's so weird. And then this one, CD, 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 CD. So we're reading byte 1. So what's that? Hold on, what's that going to look like? Are we going up or down? And do we need to save the old one to see whether or not it's still? Because if the previous one was 0 and then it's 1, we should update it, which means we should save the previous state of the button press, unless I trigger it immediately and then have like a is change or something like that for it to return to 0. I don't want to save all of that information. I don't want to save the whole packet to see if the next packet is different. That could save us a lot of microcontroller rounds, but again, we've got an RP2040 on this thing. It doesn't matter. So I guess what I can do is bool back change to 0, or no, head change. And then down here where we get the packets, if bits start, headlight of I is equal to get bits. Let's see, hold on one sec. I'm just trying to. Get bits equal to yeah, we got to pull this out of here. If bit get is equal to is not equal to headlight of I, and then this would be a UN8T. Bit get. So if our bit get is different than headlight of I. Every time I do of I always think of Gamble Putty, Devon of Headlight of I is equal to bit get, and then head change is equal to 1. Else, because we got to unset it, head change equal to 0. So now if this is different than what's already in there, we plug it in. If it's the same, there's no change, we're not doing anything. And then by the time we've looped back around and done this again, presumably we would have acted on whatever thing we need to act on. So if head change is equal to 1, that means anything is changed. And we need to look specifically at what we're looking for, the button push. So then wherever we're going, that just means, because that means when I scroll up and down, then it'll change and we need to look at something. Like this will end up changing stuff. We're not looking very specifically at this specific bit. And I need to look for that specific bit. So maybe I need to just make that if headlight is on the 6th round, or I can very specifically do a specific bit, but because like, okay, so there's two things changing when I do change it. Where's our readout? Like FC can become 7C, and it become BC, B7F, and then that one changes the next byte packet. It's very strange and annoying, programming wise. This only changes the one single bit of that byte. Oh God, bits and bytes, man, I'm head spinning. So I really want to just look at that one byte. 0, 1, 2. Oh no, it's 0, 1, because that's the first one's the address. So it's 0, 1. So if bitget does not equal headlight and I is equal to 1, zero, 1, yeah, is equal to 1. Maybe I shouldn't do it this way. Hold on a second. Wait a minute, I'm starting to regret. No, hold on a minute. I should probably just load the whole thing into the packet. If bit start headlight of I is equal to get bits, and we iterate through I's for the entire size of the thing, and then we have an inner byte timing delay, and then I would also say if I is equal to 1, and that doesn't need to change. It could just also equal 1. Headlight of 1. No, because that's gonna it's gonna do it every time then. How do I get data out of this thing cleanly? I don't know how to do this cleanly. I mean, I could like bit mask and do all that stuff, shifts over and make sure that I get just that one byte and then see if just that one byte changed. Well, maybe after this thing runs, I can look at that and see if it changed. Because it's being stored as a global variable. So I can just go into set stuff is specifically the read, so I don't know if I want to do that there. Where is that? Set stuff, set stuff. That's read switch, make the packet, set the stuff, and then I guess we'll do it before we make the packet. So before we make the packet, we need to read switch and then is change. Well, no, because I don't want to change it. Well, we read the switch and something's changed, so I want to make a different packet. Is change. Or how about fog check? Because we're checking the button status of the fog lights. So if we do the fog check, then we read the switch, populate the switch. We need to know if that specific bit has changed, which is why I wanted to put it in there. But if we load it into the variable, then damn it. I'm getting lost for some reason. I'm not doing this properly. And actually, I should take this out of here too. That goes down into the serial prints. And we should add print rx. Okay, so that'll do that. That'll do all of our serial prints in one area. And then up here, we read the switch, and maybe at that point, we see if anything's changed. And then fog check will work off of that variable. So if, and I guess I'm going to have to do what I was doing before. Bit get uint 8t bit get equal to get bits. If I is equal to 1, 0, 1, yeah, that's right. If I is equal to 1, and then, well, we can make that an and. No, but then I'm checking on every single one, so I only want to check when it's here. What's up, Madamu? If, and then I need to use some of these stupid Arduino functions in order to get the specific byte. Just remind myself of what these are. Bit read. And I need it to, yeah, if bit read headlight, I'll make it I, but it should just be 1. Headlight of I, and then we're reading, which bit are we reading? We're reading the specific one that represents the status of the fog light button, which is 0, 1, wait, 0, 0 for least significant, 0, 1, 2, 3. Zero, 2, 3 is equal to the bit read of bit get 3. Holy crap. Then head change is equal to 1. Whew! all that to trigger a little binary thing. There's probably button libraries I could use that would do that a little bit more cleanly, but so what I'm doing is if I is equal to 1, because as we're iterating through, we are basically putting stuff into our main headlight packet, which is a global variable. So I'm setting a new variable called bitget to be that get bits result, which is uint8t return. It's the program actually returns a number when it gets to the end of whatever the specific bit is. And we're iterating through this for the entire packet size. So as we're going, if we get to the packet that we want to observe, and this is a clunky way to do it, the routines are going to change for the real deal. They're going to change. They're probably going to be just something where it sets it differently. Hold on, I'm trying to get up the example. So we're looking at this 1th bit. So the first one's the address, that's 42. And then we've got a leading 00 in the reply. And then we have FC. And the FC turns into FD when I press this button. And so the difference between binary C and D is that first byte or last byte, depending on what the order is. So I may be getting this wrong. I think the bit order is from left to right. I'm assuming that. The least significant bit versus the most significant bit. Wouldn't this be the least then? Should it be at 0 then? 0 or 3? Which bit to read starting at 0 for the least significant rightmost bit? But I don't know if that's, well, we'll test it. We'll test it. So it might be 0. So if that's equal to 1, then we bit read 0 on that, and we see if they're equal to each other. We see if they're not equal to each other. Wait a minute. and 1 is pressed and 0 is let go. So actually I want to just check to see if it's 1. So if they're not equal and if bit read, bit get of 0 is true, then head change is 1, else head change is equal to 0. That'll unset the binary number. So only if we are set to 1 will it trigger this head change variable. And when it sets back, it'll go back to 0. Which means if I hold this thing down and I unset this, it'll set again. Wait a minute. How the hell am I doing this? Everything's breaking down. I don't know what's happening. New hair, same hair, less hair. Yeah, I got it chopped. I got my head expanded. I'm liking it because I feel more awake. I feel more awake with less hair. I don't know why that is. It's just something. What I want to do is when that sets, I want to increase the address. Where am I setting the address? I'm setting it way up here. I'm parameterizing this into the address. So what I need to do is I need to take, that would be the initial one, but I do need to be parameterized when I make the packet. And ADDI is just the address. If I put in ADDI for the parameterize, call address, man, I need to rip up some stuff here. We had been traditionally changing headlight TX, but that's a fixed thing. So this needs to be a new thing. So this needs to be I don't know, what is it, like TX ADDI. TX ADDI. ADDI is equal to TX ADDI, and then that will propagate through the rest of the system. We make the packets and stuff. So TX ADDI needs to be increased on this, and then it needs to instantly undo once it changes. Hold on, UN8T TX ADDI. TX ADDI. Equal to 1. Start at 1. We know 0 doesn't do anything, but there's two different functions that I need to have happen here. I need us to move our data to the next thing, and I need, oh boy, okay. So when the button is pressed, maybe we won't do the moving to the next data thing. We'll just try them all in the first position first. I'm going to keep this order for now. I'm having enough trouble figuring out the logic of getting a new byte. If bitread get headlight is equal to, and it does not, but the else on this one, that change is equal to 0. So that sets it back. If the bit read is 1, set it to 1, otherwise set it to 0. So that just means that when I push down the button, I get 1 toggle, and if I let go of the button, I don't get a toggle. Because then they'll equal anyway, and it'll just set it back to 0. So this one might never happen. No, this one will happen. This one will happen. And if that sets that to be 1, I just need TX ADDI ++ if tx addy is equal to, or greater than or equal to. Oh, but wait a minute, that needs to be the base address. Oh, but that stays the base address because I made the new variable. So addy is the one that changes and it gets the parity bits added to it. But tx addy stays a number that we can iterate. And then the last couple bytes are off limits, which are anything above, what was it again? Where's the LIN bus standard? It's like the last 4 are off limits. We have that in our other program. Let me open the other program. Open. This is the brute sender. This is the brute forcer. They're two totally different programs that I named way too similar to one another. Did I get rid of the brute force code? I might have gotten rid of the brute force code. Oh no. I really should have kept this as a brute forcer. I got rid of it. The answer was right there and I got rid of it. What did I do? What have I done? Oh, 3F is when we want. Yeah, we can just stop it at that point. Do we check 3F or do we? That's going to fly by, but it'll still stop us. It's 3F, actually 3CDEF, I think. So if it's equal to 3C. And I think that's correct. So we're upping the address and then we're instantly saying, "Up, you're done." And we're locking the program there. So this is like an end condition. Otherwise, we're streaming packets. This is where Git would be great. Yeah, maybe so. Those tools are probably pretty useful, to be fair. I've never said that they would be useless. I've said I just don't understand them, and that's why I don't use them. So let's go over our logic again here. If I is equal to 1, we are in the appropriate part of the packet that represents this button being pressed. FC to FD right there. And so FC to FD means that we're changing the least significant bit, which is 0. So I do a bit read of the 1th position of the packet, and I compare that to the bit read of the whole bit that we've gotten in this position, which is get bits of whatever headlight of 1. So I is equal to 1. We check to see if it's the same as it was before. And if it is, what's going on here? This will always get plugged. The bit get will always be plugged into the headlight packet at whatever position inside of this for loop, right? Yeah. And we've got our little interbit delay. So if that changes, if that bit specifically changes and it's not equal to what it was before, it's either a 1 or a 0. If it is a 1, then head change is equal to 1. Our transmit address goes up. I don't even know if I need this in here anymore, actually. I don't think I need that variable, because nothing else is going to be checking it. If I pull the behavior out of this program and put it somewhere else, then I would want that. But in this case, we need to do it inside of this loop because we're in the middle of receiving our whole packet. It's a weird way to do it because I think honestly what you should do is receive your packet and then do the comparisons and stuff on it. Don't even get me started if we did this the proper way and we had like interrupts and we were using the UART and all that stuff. I guess those are supposed to make your life easy and make it so that the serial stuff can function on the side, but we're doing bit banging. So anyway, so yeah, we're doing it all inside the program. So if we are at the specific location that we want to read, I mean, really, we could use the change address to do all of this comparison after the fact, and that's probably the way it should be done. If this stuff takes too much time, which we're in an RP2040, so it doesn't take too much time, then it would be better to do this after receiving the packet. This microcontroller has like weeks and months of time between receiving ones and zeros, though. Get bits waits until the end of the bits, right? Yeah, because that's what we're doing this way. So I don't need these else's. Let's get rid of the else's just to make it a little more palatable. Okay. So that is turned into a 1. It's not the same as it was before. We up it once. And when we up it once, it then becomes what it was before. So that doesn't multiple iterate. So now if I hit this button, that should get us up to the next address on the txaddy variable. Txaddy starts at 0. If it gets to tx3c, we don't really need to reset it because we're just finishing the program and stopping it right there. Okay, so I think that's going to do everything that I needed to do. That was a little bit hacky, and doing it inside the loop like this is extremely stupid, but I think we're going to get away with it. All right, so both buttons down. Wait, let me close the serial monitor first. And then all we'll be affecting is that 0th byte of the send. Why is it 80 now? Why is that 80? I don't think I set it to be 80. What the? Let's make sure our serial prints are okay first, too. I think we should be printing the TX address because we're going to parodyize the TX address before sending out. And the call address is always going to be the same. Wait. We need to do this address if we are setting so we parameterize the address and then we set it. Because wait a minute, okay, I'm double dipping on my variables here a little too much. Addy will be the receive, and I guess that's global in this case, which it really kind of shouldn't be. Yeah, that should be headlight switch instead of Addy. Let's get the Addies out of here. We're making it into headlight switch. So UN8T. This way I'm just keeping things local so that I don't have like a global, because these are the global addresses, and then I've got the TX address is the one that we want to iterate. So that's going to be the global now. And I'm not going to use the same terminology because it's going to be too confusing for me personally. So what we're doing is we are making an address variable that's the parameterized headlight switch. So then we call that address here, and we go through and we do our bit stuff, and the TX addy gets iterated. Get bits goes there. headlight is equal to bit get delay else return. Okay, so that's safe. That one is fixed. Here in make packet, uint 8t, address is equal to the parameterized address, the transmit address. And then our backlight packet consists of the headlight of 6, 0, and then a checksum. When we set stuff, we are parameterizing. We'll just do here, uint8t. No. What are you doing? T addy is equal to parameterize of tx addy, tx addy, call address addy, bit send backlight of I for I is equal to, okay, there, okay, cool. Call address, send the break, and then send the bits out. Printing serial, RX, print hex of, well, I'm gonna unparameterize it. So this is just gonna be, hey Celia, how you doing? Heddle switch. That's just going to be that it'll be the same thing every time, but we know what we're calling. So receive headlight switch bar for head size, print hex headlight of I, serial print wall. Okay, and then to transmit, we're doing, oops. We're going to be calculating parity a lot. It's just the way it is, I guess. Oh no, we're not doing it that way. We're just printing it without parity so that we can see the Tixati. Okay, that I think fixes everything. Because yeah, here I'm bringing in byte addy. I don't know how that didn't confuse everybody. Addy should be, the variable addy is going to be local to the functions. Doing all right, trying to get up a Mesh-tastic network. Oh, that sounds fun. I didn't get very far into the Mesh-tastic stuff. I don't really know where to start. All right, I think that gets everybody working properly. Now, when I push the button, it will iterate addy until we get to the end, and then it'll stop the whole program. So I'm going to close the serial port, hit these buttons. Signal goes dead. I can hit upload, and then my computer's going to tell me some bullshit's going on, or the camera's going to freeze again. It's not fun. I used 2 hours before I figured out that my base station setup was using the wrong frequency versus everybody. Oh my God. Yeah, RF stuff can be a little frustrating, huh? I thought the Mesh-tastic stuff was figured out to the point where it's easy to, Fog check was not declared in this scope. Oh yeah, because we turned it into a local, we turned it into something that's sort of in line with everybody running. That probably should get its own function, but we're doing it in the read switch function, which is not a smart way to do things. Dang it. Headlight was not declared in this scope. What? Oh, capital L. L, capital L. Tixati intentionally does not have a camel case in there. Excuse me. Okay, I think that'll do. Had a call from Microsoft that my Windows license was running out. I don't think that's that's very illegitimate. Your Linux license is out of date. Oh no, call Linus Torvald. Expected thingy before thingy. Oh, extra parenthesis. Okay, try again. That's pretty funny. Yeah, those calls have been getting more frequent for my mother at the very least, because we had that big scare where they convinced her all kinds of stuff was going bad in the bank accounts. And I stopped it midway through. I got up to, there's literally a command prompt, a Windows command prompt open up on the computer. And the guy had been remote typing in stuff that was basically like computer very bad and equals, equals, equals. Really shitty stuff. What do you mean not declared? How did a spelling mistake get all the way? We were, what the? Oh, I guess I spelled it that one. I can't spell my own function name. It's too complicated for my own brain. Paritierize. I should have just called it parity, but that might have been a protected term. The parity stuff is confusing. It's basically just using bits of the address to do a funky math problem and then double check against that to see if there were any problems transmitting. Oh, par. See, this is why cleaning up that global variable is good, because I had all kinds of stuff that was acting on it and doing weird stuff to it. So we're keeping the scope local for some of the things that were, some of these functions. Yeah, so that's all acting on par. Good thing we caught that. This is like, this whole thing is an argument for making your functions like independent. Want to see a cool motherboard? Instant shady link. Luckily, we know Perkinji. It's a link to X that's not loading. Hold on, it's opening up a command prompt. There we go. What the heck? That's very beautiful. Is that real? You gotta ask yourself if things are real these days, because that's very pretty. Yeah, some really legitimate artwork has been done on motherboards. It does look a little bit too clean. I don't know. Everything is AI. Nothing is AI. Okay, so our functions are functioning. We're chooching along. We're doing little bits of math. If I hit this button, oh, now we're transmitting on the one that we're receiving on, which is probably not good. But basically what I need to do now is go through and see if any of these packets turn on the backlight over here. Let's turn off the desk lights for this. Okay, that was everything, but I guess I'll just function in the dark. So clearly they're not lighting up orange. Next. Not lighting up orange. Huh? Okay. All the way up to 6 and no backlight. 7, 8, 9. This is going to take us a little while, but I wanted to do it this way because it's funny. It's more fun this way. Are those timed signal wires? I don't think so. I have seen some genuinely amazing artwork on circuit boards, though. You bet it's FE. It won't go up to FE because just the way the LIN bus works, the first 4 bytes, or no, what is it? The binary of the beginning of the address, the last 2 are reserved for a parity check. So you only have a certain number that you can get up to, which is 3F. And then 3 C, D, E, and F are reserved. The last two being for manufacturer stuff, or rather further implementation of the LIN bus protocol. And then the first two are for diagnostics. So yeah, it's just the way that the LIN bus works. I know way too much about this stuff now on such a low level. What concerns me though is that the bus master is able to reassign addresses to everybody. What does that mean for like a functional node? Like it'll say, hey, you, headlight node, you're now this address in order to make the bus function faster. Strange. So I'm not really sure if we're gonna, this may not be the answer. We may need to flip the bits, or there might just be a more complex signal. And that means that I either need to go deeper in my research and try to find something that talks about what BMW decided all of their bus stuff should look like, or I need to sniff it. I need to actually get up in its butt and sniff it to see an actual functioning system with the lights on. And I can do that because my brother has this car. I don't know if I could do that with a Mercedes. That's the problem, is that I don't know anybody that has this particular model of Mercedes, and I know they both have backlights. We've looked at them, we've seen them. If we were bootstrapping our own microcontroller to this, I would literally just be able to set it as an address, and then I'd know exactly what it would do. But in this case, we've got someone else's manufacturing, and we're trying to kind of break into it. Man, I would be tickled pink if one of these would just light it up. Nothing. Nothing on nothing. And no weird stuff going on the bus. We're still receiving and sending just fine. If I find a programming mistake, I'm gonna be so mad. Two 7, 2 8, 2 9. We're almost at the end of the 2s, which is trouble. 2A, 2B, 2B, tubers, 2C, 2D, T, Tef, 3, 3 1, 3 2, 3 3. 3C is what the wheel responds to. This is disappointing. This really is just kind of a toss-up, though. We don't really know what the address is gonna look like, what the packet that it responds to is gonna look like. There might be more information inside of the packet than what we consider. Okay. It would be a funny joke if the backlight command was, oh, no, never mind. We're done. Nothing lit it up. See, there's not that many addresses. It doesn't take that long for us to brute force the entire stack with information. Wait, what was the wheel address? Oh, it's 1C. That's what the wheel was. Yeah, these aren't meant to be big networks, so there's not that many addresses in this thing. Okay, so let's go with the scenario where it's the next byte packet, and then we simply know that nothing works. Yeah, that's okay. That should be working just fine. So let's do 1 and then 0. We'll flip to the other byte, and then I'm gonna hit the buttons, release. I think I did that in the wrong order. Like that. And hopefully we don't blow up my USB stack again. I want to see this thing light up. I'm getting antsies in my panties. I don't think you can send to the same address that's being transmitted. I don't think that works. I guess this allows us to do that. And it'll just create chaos on the bus. All right, let's get started. Boom. Sending to 1 and sending in a bunch of data, nothing. So now we're conflicting. Or we should be, but I guess it's not conflicting. This thing is probably registering that there's a transmit going on. So we know that if we send to the same address that it doesn't do anything. Boink to the next one. Nothing. That's where I would expect things to happen. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for our little buddy here. It works and we get data out of it. I just can't turn on these lights. And none of the stuff that I'm searching has come up with anything that seems good for what we're trying to do. If this thing transmits the position of this slider as a byte, then I would expect it to receive backlighting information as a byte. But maybe it does need to have other stuff go on for it to function properly. Yeah, that doesn't change when this changes. Good. A, B, C, D. What would be interesting is if we plug this thing in and we get the address for the steering wheel and that lights up. I don't have the steering wheel plugged in right now. I probably should while we're testing it like this. Okay. Come on, buddy. You can do this. You can just light up. Just light up. Just do it. Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. This is like video games, right? You do the same thing over and over again as muscle memory. Hey, Poopsie Doodle, what's up? So my theories about brute forcing this thing are not going so well, huh? We basically made it so that when you push the button, it goes to the next address and it sends out this 2-byte packet with a checksum and a proper checksum. We checked that, we made sure that that was correct based on the position of the knob. Feeling like I got the flu. Oh, that was me earlier this week. It passed pretty quickly though. I don't know what the hell it was. Maybe, hopefully you have something similar and it just kind of leaves. Oh yeah, we're getting data out from the switch, absolutely. We've been getting that for a while. I had to change around the way some of my functions were working, too much reliance on global variables and stuff. And then we rearranged things a little bit, and we're doing the second of the brute forcing through every single address and giving them a byte that represents where this knob is. So that maybe the system will engage its backlight. We're basing this off of the LIN bus water pump that somebody discovered takes a 2-byte packet with just one single byte to describe the speed of the water pump. And if this knob that is designed to control the backlighting is just 1 byte, I would assume that the entire backlighting is controlled with 1 byte. And so we're sending it a 2-byte packet, and we're setting that second byte this time to be our backlight value, and we're crossing our fingers and hoping that it actually turns things on. It doesn't. Spoilers, it doesn't. Why did I make these manual controls when I could just iterate through? Because this is more fun. This is more fun. Plus, we know we're sending it like hundreds of these packets, so it definitely can't ignore us. Address me! Yeah, it appears as though it's not looking good. It's not looking good. We're way high up here on the addresses, and I've never seen anything go this far. 36, 37. I don't want to have to use like a diagnostic packet to turn on the backlights. May come to that. Come on, man. Done. Nope, we didn't get it. Damn. Well, now I don't know what to do. I don't think it's going to be one of these giant packets, the type of packet that we have to send, because that's this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's the 2, 4, and 8 are the sizes. So if we send a 4 packet, oh boy, that would be a lot. I mean, I guess we have to. I have to try sending a 4 packet. So we're adding 2 parameters to it. And now we need so 0, actually 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put it in the second one, just in case. And I guess we can try that. So both buttons, look, 1, go, and those will be zeroed out, and maybe that'll get it to run. All this talk about packets has the Humpty Dance stuck in my head. It was the first song on the album Sex Packets. What the hell? Humpty Dance. Just do the jump. Come on, do the Humpty Hump. Why is my keyboard dead? Oh, USB. Oh, geez. Weird bother face again. Why did the USB freeze again? Ah, this is the problem with having the microcontroller plugged into a major hub of your entire operation, is that now I need to do all of that stuff again. So let's go into studio mode. Let's put up technical difficulties. Pained, paused, bother. Help! Ah! What are we doing? I'm frameless overlay, and then I'm doing the technical issues again. And then I'm going back to the face cam. That's a good technical issues screen. Properties, deactivate, activate. Okay, I'm back. Hi. Click OK on that. Then I have to exit Stream Deck. See what I mean, though? The Logitech camera just restarted, and it looks like crap. So now I need to start up Stream Deck again. I need like a crash protocol button that just does this stuff in the background. I don't know if I could do that, though, because part of the crash protocol is closing Stream Deck. So if I put that to a Stream Deck button, the very last thing that it does would be to restart itself. Okay, and then let's turn the lights on. Ah! Oh! Flashbang! Ugh. And then do the face procedure. How many years was I down for? Okay, overlay, and then we deactivate the tech issue. I need to fix that button. Okay. Jeez, that was annoying. So now we have a larger packet. We have a 4-position packet in here. I'm still not sure if we're going to be giving it the data that it needs, because there might be another parameter in that packet. There might be something that says headlights are on and the slider's position is X. I just don't know. But we're going to hit it with random and just see what happens, right? The alternative to this is me actually finding out what that packet looks like. I have not seen any information. The only information that I can find on the LIN bus and backlighting or ambient lighting in a car is somebody making a LIN bus node that uses an RGB LED. That is like a microchip white paper where they do that. So I can't find a thing about it, and I don't find any logs of people sniffing LIN bus. You see logs of people sniffing CAN bus all the time, but LIN bus is just so eclectic that we're not finding that sort of on-the-nose information that you would normally get with something like this. I don't understand why either. It's not like LIN bus is uncommon nowadays. We have multiple generations of BMWs that use them, and Mercedes and all kinds of other stuff, and it's like, we're gonna pop the top. Good luck, Poopsie Doodle. I don't stream, but I'm in a room with 7 computers that are very interconnected for reasons like this. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to split this into 2 machines. I'm talking to Poopsie Doodle, who's like off puking, so I would like to split it to 2 machines. That would be nice. I could get rid of the water cooling stuff. I don't really need all the water cooling, but then again, computers are not easy these days. I would love to spin off a Linux machine. I think I've got my old Intel Mobo sitting in the other room, and maybe I could make that into its own rack mount machine. I'll look into that soon, because I think I have a hard drive kicking around that I could use on it. And we could Linuxify it, and then I would have a whole damn Linux machine that I could try to get running. All right, let's get this into the thing. I don't know if the thing went up or not. I'm gonna try, but my USB stack like pooped itself again. Maybe it's too much current draw. That may actually be it. Too much current draw. Stream Deck is a very thirsty COM3. Oh, is that open? It is. Whoopsies. Trying again after recovering. I heard you, Bluetooth speaker in pocket. Oh, jeez. Don't take me with you to puke. That's crazy. Ah. Oh. You know, they could make that a little bit more streamlined. I guess that's why you use structures, because you can have that like build itself as a structure, and you just do backlight dot size, right? And then that would poop out the right variable. That's fun to do. I don't do that, and so I get got by things like this, where you have to declare a size. It should just handle itself. I hope you're not mad for the tag I gave you on Discord. I got 2. More right to repair stuff going on. And then the tag was something silly. Oh no, the tag was tomato going live, because I don't know how to turn that off. I don't see a tag. You must have untagged. Oh, it's the Super Mario butt. Bonk. I saw that yesterday. Rope bites. Cool. Okay, so now we're back in business. Doink. Now we're sending it a big old packet with a whole bunch of information on it, and most of it is blanked out. Why did I do the second one there? I'm kind of copying this packet. So I'm wondering if maybe if we put data here, which is where the switches are. You guys can see my mouse. Yeah. Right. If I put data here, maybe we'll get something. So again, this is all just kind of tossing it up and seeing if anything happens. Let's run through all of our addresses again. What time is it? Okay, we got an hour more of this. Oh yeah, this is maybe not the best. We'll go back to the PC one. There's a lot going on the screen, which is good. So let me dim the lights. I'm just gonna dim the lights, chat. How y'all doing? You hanging out? I'm hanging out. I should make each one of these move the byte field to one of the 4. Oh, I kind of want to do that now. That would actually be pretty funny. What are the... See, that one, but then when I hit the button, that one changes. BC7C. Hold on a sec. Wait, we could do that. We can do that. And I can use the humble switch. So let's see. But it would be two things because there's multiple ones. Hold on, I'm figuring this out. Hold on. I guess it would just, we could just put it in an if statement. If headlight of 1 equal to FC, FE, 7C, but that changes to FE. D, E, F. And then that one stays F and it goes B. Okay, so it's going to have to be and then it won't transmit when I hit the button. See, BC, 7C, FC, those are unique. And then this one is not. That's so annoying. Oh, you guys can't see the bits flying by. Hold on. There, I'm looking at this stuff. Just looking at these positions so that I can make them the 4. So for the position 1, it would be FCFD. And I mean, I could take it down to the 1s and 0s. I'm just doing it in bytes. FD. Then this is what we look like. This is going to be a big block of code just because I don't feel like making this pretty. Number 1. Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing this in the sloppiest way possible. Tiny keyboard, very annoying. These have to be capital. I'm just going to cut and paste this in the future. Hold on. FE. This is how you build muscle memory, right? FCFE becomes 7C double F. And then BC double F. I should look at the individual bits. It's just whether or not the bit is set. That'd be much cleaner. Whatever. Why not make a giant block of code when instead you could have a few lines of smarter code? I hate it when the sick chills hit and they're painful. I haven't gotten the painful ones, but when all of the signs are pointing towards throwing up is, oh, I hate that part. You just like every fiber of your being knows what's about to happen. Capital, 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 capital. Headlight, 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 back. Cool. Okay, so we just made it so that when I flip this switch, we go to the different positions of the packet so I can play around with it. So let's try that out without blowing up my my USB stack. Let's see. Let's go to a funny camera. We made it. All right, cool. It didn't blow up. Uh-oh, wait, is it gonna blow up? Well, now I've locked the serial monitor up. You can go away, COM3, it's okay. Goodbye, COM3, goodbye. Please clap, please close. Oh, I hate it when it does this. What if I hit upload? No, I think the program's, yeah, I can't even highlight text. Oh, there it goes. And it froze again. Wonderful, glorious freezing of my USB. Why did it happen? Probably because I don't have the discipline to properly close. Dumb. Dumb idiot. Dumb idiot, dumb. Dumb idiot. It had, this Tuesday was when I threw up, and it was the first time in years. My streak! All right, let's reactivate the camera. And all the parameters are gone. Haven't thrown since January. I don't remember the time before last. I do remember the last time. Just because I had such a strong ginger candy, because I felt kind of irpy. Expected semicolon before. Oh, I forgot a semicolon. Okay. And then down here, oh, I used to work on spinal fusion surgery stuff. It was basically how they handed tools over to the doctor, trying to optimize. Re-optimize. We're looking at the... Oh yeah, Stream Deck I need to quit. Which does not mean closing the program, it means actually quit Stream Deck, quit. I mean, I need like a restart Stream Deck thing. Can I do that? Stream, oops, hold on, let that start up. Stream Deck, restart, Stream Deck, tile. Reboot your Stream Deck from your Stream Deck. Okay, so that actually is a thing. Yeah, that actually is a thing. Restart Stream Deck from Stream Deck. I need a new spine and knees. Yeah, could they just fuse it all together and so you have to walk like you're a cardboard cutout? Oh, you guys aren't seeing what I'm seeing. Get out of studio mode. So then I can go to setup, and then I can do the face procedure, and that's going to come back to us. All right, so I want to check this out real quick. Nano leaf tires. Stream Deck troubleshooting guide. No. Do I really trust AI because Google search has become such dog shit that it can't answer a question that easily without 4 videos? Because the videos are what I'm looking for, but I don't want to watch a video to get the answer. I'd rather read some text when they say, hey, you just need to do this, when it's like a simple thing. But I guess I gotta watch a video. And it's a short, no less. Video unavailable. Reboot your Stream Deck from your Stream Deck, and it's some lady. Stream Deck reboot button. How to make it, and the thumbnail's like cancer. Yeah, this is just the state of things now, huh? What? What? What do you mean? This seems more like a YouTube problem than a me problem. Can you just tell me how to do it? Direct script link. Batch files. So you have to make a reboot Stream Deck batch file. Thank you for this. It's so annoying to... Okay, but it doesn't work. I'll have to look this up on my own then. All right, let's get this thing programmed. Hit upload on that. My camera should be good now, so I can get rid of Elgato. That is cancer, I know. Google used to work. I made a career off of Googling things. You guys know, like, we were responsible for finding products that had been altered to become explosives, right? And so you would often have to jump into like the 12th page of Google while looking for, you know, a certain phone and the like. All right, so now we're in 0F. We're in the last position. Now we're in this position. Now we're in that position. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Oh, microcontrollers! Aren't they cool? Look at that. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Clunk. Blah 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 blah. Clunk. Blah 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 blah. Oh, that's fun. Okay, next. Well, 2 is technically the address of the switch itself, so I don't know what this would be accomplishing. It would be interesting if you call itself. I remember Google used to be a valuable tool. It's sad what it's become. And depending on what you're searching, though, because if you search for sort of more rare things, you get the old Google. Bit by bit, it kind of comes back. But boy, howdy, is it bad these days. I really wish we could do something about it, but we can't. I mean, they've got the whole market, right? And it's until other tools start acting like old Google used to, because old Google used to be just totally reliable, getting the same information and the same stuff over and over again in a search, and you sort of knew, like, page 3, I get certain things that may or may not be the answer to my question. But Google was AI. It's always been AI. That's been their thing. It's always been AI. From the very get-go, it just worked really well for a little bit when it was sort of in the background and it wasn't a learning language model. It was a search model. It did its job really well because it didn't try to say, that's a great idea. How about you don't drink bleach? It's like, wow, what a good idea. I'm sure drinking bleach has its benefits, but I really can't recommend you do that. I don't know if this is the answer here, folks. I don't know if this is going to suddenly illuminate, shocking us all. The whole reason I did the wheel is just to give it sort of varied data. And I'm sure that whatever it receives probably does have just a byte parameter for how bright the LED should be, because they all have dimming functions. Perplexity AI was an awesome Google replacement for about a month, and then they launched a cheesy browser. Oh no. I never tried any of that stuff. We don't need to be on the forefront of technology here. All the coding that I've done today was without AI, and it was much less frustrating. Helped me organize myself too. Now we've got some really nice little routines that we can run on a very simple brute forcer. And I would love for the conclusion of the stream to be finding the address that triggers backlighting. But I don't think it will be. We love deterministic and predictable tools because they are tools, yes. They are not some tech ooh-ah demo. You know? Unreliable. Maybe it works once up on stage. Actually, my favorites are the ones that don't work on stage. You know, Elon Musk throwing a metal bearing into the Cybertruck's window and having it shatter. Because that worked backstage, but it weakened the window enough that on stage it didn't. Yeah, it's very frustrating that the entirety of the Google page is like, here's AI, here's some videos, here's this thing, here's that thing. And I'm like, listen, I'm looking for a website that has text on it, maybe a table, that tells me a couple things. I need like the old man search where they scrub all of the new stuff. I fear that there's something about this packet that we are not providing. There's some other parameter that we're not getting through, and iterating through 1,000,001 addresses to get some kind of a reaction is a thing that I've done before. It's a thing that I've done before, and I could make something that brute forces every single digit of this and then just leave it for a week and see when it responds, but that would be crazy. What we're looking for is orange. This thing will light up orange, and we know it lights up because we've taken it apart, and we know that there are LEDs in it. And there is some code that should turn on the backlight. My worry is that it's not just this that needs to be set, is that the packet is maybe complex enough that this and this will need to be set in order for it to show up as backlit. But right now, we're just expressing the scroll wheel, and this is the position in the packet that the scroll wheel sits at. I say scroll wheel. What is this? What would this be called? A knob? The mouse wheel. I'm doing it this way because it's fun. Also because it puts a bunch of packets out that have those values. But what it may be looking for is that your headlights are on and this is set to a particular position. Click wheel. It doesn't click. Rotary encoder. It's not a rotary encoder, it's a potentiometer. Guess we could just call it a potentiometer. Rotary potentiometer. So when I'm looking at this rotary potentiometer here, remember to be very specific with terminology or else all is lost. I just have this feeling that I need to set other parameters. It just seems like something that may need to be done in order to get backlighting to turn on. All this work for back shots, you know? I was hoping we could jiggle it into a position and it would show us some sign of life. It's a law, it's a law, it's a law of life. But I know it's not listening to its own packet. It needs to be triggered by something else. So it might change the parameters a little bit. My hands are getting tired. My hands are getting tired. Nothing. That's right. You guys get to watch me play with my knob on stream. Mm-hmm. Please, light up orange. Prove me correct in all of my tests. Why must you forsake me? Oh, controller of car stuff. I'm gonna be able to flip tiddlywinks like nobody's business with my newfound thumb muscle. Where are we at? We're at 1F. Dang. It's got to be one of these, right? I'm gonna be really curious to sniff packets in my brother's car. I'm gonna be sniffing those packets. I should probably make a little Arduino program that'll do that. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to do that though. I gotta go all the way to his house in Maryland, 2 states away. I wonder if I'm configuring other stuff too. If this thing is like, what the hell is going on? All things considered, it should be ignoring the packets. This is the exact kind of thing a program is good for, a light sensor and some code to bit bang it. Yeah. I mean, all things considered, if I really wanted to like super duper brute force this thing, take it back down to the circuit board, connect to one of the LED leads to a pin on the micro and have that be the trigger. And then I can run through, basically iterate every single kind of LIN bus signal possible that I could send to this thing. It would take a little bit of programming and a little bit of proofing, but it would ultimately be exactly how you would go about doing this sort of thing. Send it zeros, send it Fs, send it varied packets, and just keep changing it up on the address and the data and look for anything. You gotta wonder if there's other stuff that would happen on the micro to indicate to you what's going on. If they have like physical testing parameters that maybe we could access through the test points. What I'd really love is some kind of a simple manual that tells me what the signals are that this thing can do, because I'm sure this thing can do all kinds of stuff that we'll never know about. Ultimately, reprogramming the microcontroller on it would probably be ideal, because then you could just make it do everything you want it to do. But, you know, we're being stubborn and trying to figure out what this thing speaks. Oh my God, my thumb. We're almost there. We got to get through a couple threes and then we'll be it. There's only 3 types of packets on the LIN bus. It's the 2-byte, 4-byte, and 8-byte. And usually they're delineated by different addresses that you're accessing, but I think they dropped that. And now they have like a multi-byte kind of thing going on. Man, this is not looking good. Do something. Please. Prove me right. Prove me right. Do it. My fear is that it needs multiple things set. So it would know the position of the switch and the backlight amount, so that it would then turn on the backlight, which may be the case. Of course, that can be accomplished by a 2-byte packet. We did accomplish making the thing test itself, though, using it as a control. No lights still. 3.5. No. 6. 3.6. Come on, man. 3.7. This stuff should be pretty small in scope. 3.8. So it should have been accomplishable, but unfortunately, unless the lights pop on suddenly, 3A. Well, My attempt to force this thing into some kind of an operational mode of backlighting has failed. Damn. Well, my hand's tired. That did not work. Okay, so barring the 8 packet thing, I don't think the 8 packet positions are gonna be it. That would have been quite a long test to do. I can test. You know, we can think about setting this up for like a longer test where I hit it with more packets. But I think the main thing is just going to be to get some kind of information out of this. With this Arduino code that I have, I could potentially invent a sniffer and plug it into an external thing. I could put it on like a little screen. We could add a little screen to this thing and have it powered on the LIN bus. And I'll get 3 little hooks that I can hook into it, like my brother's car. I don't know about doing a Mercedes. I don't know where I would find a Mercedes to plug into. I don't know if maybe there's information somewhere out there where we could get the packets, because we got the receive packet. All I'm looking for is a backlight packet. I would have lobotomized it days ago and soldered a pigtail onto it to use with whatever microcontroller. I mean, yeah, I didn't want to do that though, because this has been fun. But the way to do it, yeah, would be to pull that little tiny microcontroller out of here, and with all the extra space in this thing, you could just shove like a $2 RP2040 into it, and as long as you've got all the pins to access, that's you know, that's it. You would still have full LIN bus capabilities, because you'd still have that first chip doing all of your LIN bus, you know, routing and stuff, reconfiguring all of the stuff. Man, how disappointing though, because we made the switch output the packet that it outputs and tried to put that into our own generated stuff, but it turns out it doesn't respond to very simple. So this is another fail. This is fail number like 4, but we are progressing in our ability to you know, put together nice organized software that'll make LIN bus stuff. I don't know how much I'm going to encounter the LIN bus in the future, because I don't know what other car button accessories are, and cars are moving away from buttons. It's so dumb. Well, they have been. They're moving back now because they suddenly realized that it's not very safe to poke at a flat screen in a dark car in the middle of the night while driving. You know, these are things that must be proven with studies for some reason. Oh, I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. We got all the way to 3B and it did not do a thing. What is the answer for you? How about a little bit of Googling? If we get real specific, BMW headlight switch LIN bus. BMW K, this is Wonder America. It's probably a replacement part and not, yeah, that's for sale. Wait, what the hell is that? LIN switch does not fit all bike mod. What? Communication fault. See, it's always diagnostics, which are done through CAN bus. BMW LIN bus controlling turn signal. Machina. Looking to tap into LIN bus from a motorcycle. Self-canceling of the turn signals limited. 1 LIN bus on it. On a motorcycle, really? Filtering the line requires 2 ports. Other issues, blah, 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 blah. Are you guys talking about signals at all? Purchase a cheap USB, blah, blah, blah. For the frame I was looking for, consisted of 4 frames. Can either be 2, 4, 8, 4 sync ID checksums. So yeah, he's describing the right stuff. Data size to 4, 7, 11, etc. Only ever printed out 1 frame worth of data from Lucky. Boy, you got a lot of work ahead of you. This is just the application note? Yeah. Okay, that's not, unfortunately, giving me specific addresses. It's just describing the entire system. What is this one? Oh, this is their ST Micros program. Okay. This isn't BMW. Yeah, that's not it. Have you checked your local junkyard for the same car? You could sniff the packets coming from the computer. They generally kind of frown upon you turning on and off the cars in the junkyard. They're not exactly functional. That's why I think one of the best avenues that we have is to start speaking CAN bus to the chair, because the chair, I believe, has its own small LIN bus that goes to the chair controls. So from that computer down there to that has its own LIN bus. Maybe if we sniff that and I send it the CAN bus signal that turns on the backlighting, we'll see a packet that would represent the same type of packet that would go into this thing to turn on the backlight. That's that's a bit crazy, but I mean, it makes some sense. They do actually, yeah, there are junkyards that let you bring tools. They're called U-pullets here. BMW GS can sniffer. No. Yeah, these guys don't seem to share the specifics. Arduino-based LIN bus stack and signal interceptor. Yeah, we've seen it. Any updates on the project? Curses. Oh, and then my own stream comes up. That's not a good sign. This is not a good sign. This means there's next to no information at all. Oh no. Oh boy. LIN switch for BMW. That's this again. Does nobody share information on the internet anymore? And all the ones are people asking about like specific errors that pertain to the CAN bus's sniffing of the LIN bus. So CAN bus, you plug in your CAN bus tool and you go, hey, I want to go into a diagnostic mode. And so the computer goes, okay, and then it talks LIN bus to all the other stuff. It goes, oh yeah, I have a problem with this LIN bus thing. Here's your CAN bus error message, which has nothing to do with the specifics of the LIN bus, which is what we're trying to hack into right now. Voltage issues. MRI auto diagnostics. Yeah, it's all the wrong stuff. F10 LIN bus communications overview. I have that window open already. I have it open. It doesn't have any information about the specifics of the packets. It's so annoying. Master control unit specification LIN version 2.0 higher, backwards compatible with components of the previous specification. All slaves version 2.0 require master 2.0 and higher. Bah, 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 I say. Yeah, so I'm kind of, we've kind of struck out on the backlight, unfortunately. I really want to know what that packet's going to look like, though. I'm betting the signal comes from the body controller computer. Yeah, there's probably something like the topology we know. We can find the topology, actually. That was in all of those BMW tools. They stop at the topology. They give you all the information all the way up to the topology of the specific system and how it's connected and what it's connected to. And then they don't give you any of the signals. I really wish I still had a working login for all data. Man, I do too. I never had one, but I wish you had one. But it's not necessary. We can figure this out. I know this is the maddening part of it, where it's like we're just striking out everywhere. This is really like, if I was getting paid to do this, this is where I would dig in my heels and really like try to get deeper information. All of these sources of information that we can find on the car stop short of this sort of low-level packet. Not even, we know the structure, we just don't know. We need like a table of commands of things we can do with LIN-bus commands and what the packets for those specific commands look like. We know the structure. It's 2, 4, or 8, right? 2, 4, or 8. We know how to do the checksum. We know how to call, and we know that we can call and that the other node will do stuff, maybe even reply to it. But other than that, we do not know the specifics of what the manufacturer configured. And there's a big table. There's a table of values somewhere. If I could just figure out how to ask for it. Arduino, or just BMW LIN-bus frames. And this is just going to describe the LIN-bus and not the specifics of the frames. What about that? What is that one? No, this is just a basic intro for every manufacturer. Nothing specific to what we're looking for. Then they have these programs that have these logs of signals, and I'm like, please just show me one from a BMW. That's all I need. I know you've plugged this into a BMW. I've seen it. Triggered frames. Sporadics, diagnostics. I don't want to send it any diagnostic frames because there's a possibility that the diagnostic frame puts it into a reprogramming mode, which, hey, that would be pretty useful though. I could reprogram it and then it would function the way I want it to work. But that's a lot. That's a lot. CSS electronics. I mean, that's pretty useful if you want a basic explanation, but struggling with my iBus project, serial read. What are these guys trying to do? Still trying to read an F-series LIN-bus. I could help you with that. Connected to a car, typical signal. Oh man, can you give me like 2 seconds of logs? I'm using code from the Arduino BMW 1K interface beta. What is that? Example Blozer 1.0 beta Arduino IK bus is available on my Bitbucket page as well as Google Drive. Coding was mostly by blah, 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 blah. Hello. What are you? This might be promising. Most of the information is this article from PDF on BMW E46, IK bus, and all this stuff. Light switch cluster, 9.6 kbps. This is what I'm talking about with the E46. Like, they know everything about the E46. Source length destination. Yeah, that's not quite right. So this is iBus, KBus. I don't think this is LIN. It'd be so much easier to brute force this as a whole car. If I could just listen into a whole car, yeah. I know where there's one, and it's my brother's car, and he probably wouldn't mind. I'm finding F10s for rent for $40 a day in Chicago. I mean, if this is what rent a car for the day and plug into it with my oscilloscope, or make a like a LIN-bus logger, it would be pretty funny to do. See, this is for the E46, so I don't know if that's going to have the same LIN-bus stuff going on. One was LIN. LIN was like 2006. E46 goes up to probably 2006, I'm guessing. Anyway. So messages, what are you going to say in messages? Yeah, this isn't the same bus. Manual mode, skip right, request pause. Man, this would be real cool. Yeah, I got all these, but none of these are Lin. These are iBus, KBus. CD announce, CD respond. From USA spec test, CD player general, CD check for disk, end and stop. Pull CD. Yeah, so this is what I would love to find. That right there, that table for the LIN bus signals. Yeah, tell your brother you want to sniff his packets. Hey, brother, can I sniff your packets? This level is what I was hoping to find. Look at this. This level of stuff is what I was hoping to find. Oh, man. Look at that. It's so good. This is so good. This is so good. But it's not for the right bus. It's a different language entirely. Actually cold. Whew, freezing. Man, you know, at one point we're going to have to take a step back from this and do something so incredibly stupid that it's just fun and we have a day where we don't have to use our brains. That'll probably be Money Gun, and I don't know when I'm going to do it, but soon. D2, light intensity and discrete for lights on off. See, this is the thing. But that's not this. This isn't the right thing. It's just doesn't, yeah. We don't have any of these. But this is what I mean is that there are, oh, that's from the sensor. That's cool. This is how they organize things though in cars. It's like what mode are the headlights in and where's the slider would probably be two pieces of information that I would need to somehow convey in order to get the backlight to turn on. And oddly enough, I don't see anybody doing that kind of stuff with their car. BMW LIN bus ambient lights. I don't think this is any. Well, let's just see what it is. It's videos are not. Oh, this is somebody else. Why is all video unavailable to me at this point? Do I need to update something? Maybe I need to update something. Some of my ad block tools have been rendered useless, which is fine because I don't need to have YouTube up on this stream. Stop working with LIN fault codes. They're not going to get into the beans. They're just going to be talking about the wires and whether or not the wires are connected. And then I scroll down and there's like a whole table full of values. This is exactly what I need. I would screenshot that thing so hard it would leave a hole in the monitor. There'd be a little burn-in. Oh, look, somebody else who has an entire interior. Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. Frame. Yeah, it's when you start getting the what is LIN bus, that's when. Well, okay, I'm fresh out of ideas, everybody. Stuff that doesn't require me to actually. Now, hold on a minute. I'm not spending $275 on it, but what does eBay have? If there's like an interstitial controller that does ambient lighting, $100, hell no. $75, that's still a little rich for my blood. So everybody seems to know that it's a computer. Everybody knows that it's a, that's weird because I could get the seat computer for $10. My best idea involves a hammer. uBlock on YouTube. That might maybe what's breaking YouTube for me today though. Yeah, 75 is a little bit much. That's 2025. Wait a minute. F10 interior lighting module. No, I don't want the lights. I want the module. Door LED module. Is that, wait a minute. Door LED module. Do you think? Okay, no, it's 2 pins. If it was 3 pins. Light control module in footwell. 5 series, Mark 6 F10 footwell light control module. $40. $40 is pushing it though. You know what I should have done? I should have just bought the car that my brother bought, but then I probably wouldn't have done all of the same work, and then I wouldn't have ended up with so many 5 series parts. So, you know, the monkey's paw curls, step on a butterfly, and everything smells weird. Curses. This is bother at his most barrelest bottom. We're at the bottom here, we're scraping. So in that vein, I'm gonna have to tail between my legs, flee, and we'll figure out what else we can do. I want to get the backlight working. I know it's kind of a unfortunate, a little bit of a sticking point. Yeah, regular U-block, but I run Origin, so I don't know if that one's borked too. They fix it pretty quickly. Those U-block devs are crazy. We failed. We failed. Once more. I don't know what to say. We tried everything. I made it so that we could switch this thing into different modes. U-block light chrome. I'm not using this Firefox over here. No, we're gonna have to end. I'm gonna have to do my end card. Where's my where's the Discord? I'm just gonna open Discord real quick. Yeah, we tried. I really did put my best foot forward. My problem is, it probably needs slightly more complicated signaling. Because if you're designing your module to engage the backlights, it's probably going to do it in the same way that everything else does, like the headlights and stuff. So it probably looks for the status of headlights and the status of this knob. So there's probably another signal that gets sent out to tell everybody to do stuff. This gets pulled and we get the status of this knob, but then depending on the mode the headlights are in, your ambient lighting is going to show up or not. So if we don't have the headlights on, just getting this value is not enough information. Everybody probably gets this value, but they need this value too, which would make it a 2-byte packet. If I set them both at like a 5.5 or something like that, like a neutral value, I wonder if I could pull through all the addresses. So that's the thing, is like, do I need to have a bunch of data on the line in order for it to activate it all? And that's getting into the territory where we kind of are guessing too many things at once. So anyway, that was the stream. At least we've got stuff going on, right? Is it currently giving a code on a diagnostic port? No. I could send it a frame, because the packets are called frames in LinBus. I could send it a frame that would put it into diagnostic stuff. I don't know enough about the diagnostics. I know they're a little bit more universal between manufacturers because it's part of the standard, but I wouldn't want to set something and brick my device, because then I would be in the poopsie doodle scenario where I have to puke. No, the poopsie doodle scenario where I pull the microcontroller out and just solder into the pins of the microcontroller with a new microcontroller. We're not there. I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to fully rebrain everything, because this thing has a brain. There's an Audi steering wheel thread on the Arduino forums. Have you come across that one? No. Let's take a look. Audi steering wheel LinBus. Maybe I have come across this. I feel like I've seen every single article on LinBus and nobody's really doing a whole lot. We found that the address for our steering wheel was 1C. Yeah, it's to the point where if you said, have you seen the thread where somebody asks about the LinBus? I can literally type that into Google and it's the only thing that I find. We don't know whether or not this is valid data, because they're relying on serial to get this data in, and LINBus is not quite serial in a couple ways. Everyone can help. Yeah, okay. Nobody knows what the hell you're... I've dealt with this for a month. I've dealt with this for an entire month, is that I am the only person on the planet who knows what the hell they're talking about. I could probably dig up some car experts. That would take a little digging. You probably have to like lift up like a rock, a couple rocks, and then they skitter away. But like who... all this information is out there, and I feel like I've learned it to the extent that I can. Anybody know the phone number of a BMW like computer science engineer? Hey man, I really need your help. Please, just give me this. It's like, the problem is this is like 10 years old. I know for a fact this is the kind of data that the big car makers actively submit takedown requests for, because they sell the data to the mechanics. Yeah, that's and to like third party, you know, if you want your special super cool guy car headlight switch, they will get the packets by paying BMW a huge amount of money. Yeah, time to stalk BMW engineers on LinkedIn. I got my binoculars out here. Hey, you going to that party on Friday? I'll be there with a notebook. If you were to choose a packet type for a headlight switch. Yeah, I don't know how far this went, because I don't know what these guys are specifically doing with the software. These don't look quite like Lin frames. Checksum, data, ID. F050. We brute forced through everything though. Go to a junkyard with a scope. That would be fantastic. I would do that in a second. But the problem with the junkyard is you'd have to find the ones that are running, and typically they take the battery out of everything. And it wouldn't even need to be fully running. You just want to be able to turn on the headlights. That's pretty much where I'm at, is you'd run to somebody's car and turn on their headlights. Sometimes the LIN ports are accessible from the OBD2 plug too. LIN transceiver. I feel like these guys aren't quite hitting on the right stuff here. Unless they're using, yeah, linframe.h. Okay, so maybe they are. It's just when you see them talking about it and showing the signals that they're getting, they don't seem like they're in the right format. Yeah, here's a crazy thought. Could it be my linframe.h is bad? Oh boy. These two are going back and forth trying to figure this out. And this is for Audi, so the signals might be different. It's just I'm seeing 5.0 is out of range. That's out of range for, unless our frame is here. No, it's just, I'm not seeing proper LINBus addressing. And it looks like they're kind of struggling with it too. How far does this go? Oh my God. Like a 9-year thread. These two are growing old together. Trying this code with my Audi and using an Uno board this time when I code blah, 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 blah. It's just everybody's having trouble with it. ESP to Mega, yeah. What we're doing is actually really properly getting the LINBus addresses. The things that I'm seeing these guys talking about, it seems kind of wrong. Like the address is out of range when it starts. Yeah, this is a very deep thread. I think I've been through it before. It's just what I'm looking at doesn't, it's not clicking the right buttons here. It just isn't clicking with me. Like A5 is out of range. That's not a LINBus address. Unless they're truncating and they're not giving us that. This is just the start of the frame. That could be. Those two dudes are working on it pretty hard though. That's hardcore for them. Happy to see. Good to see. Hope it helps other people. No, we don't have the right information. If I can get like the body control module and just have a Frankensteinian body control module sitting on this desk, and then I can get it to like communicate out, maybe we can infer from that what some of the packets should like look like. As far as I know, I saw that, yeah, he was asking for a call. Hey, can we get on a call tomorrow and you can maybe help me more? And it's like, oh, look, he's helping with his homework. That's so cute. We've got kind of our own bit banging scheme for this, and it's a little bit hardcore banging bits. But we were able to get the data from stuff, which is step number 0. The real icing on the cake would have been to be able to get the backlights working. But insofar as I don't know what the packets are going to look like at all, and there's zero information on the internet, because at this point it's pretty clear that they're intentionally keeping it vague. The tools for like the BMW E46 is like a known sum. They know everything about that car, and there's a couple, proprietary data. Hell, it's unfortunate though, because this is like not. I don't know. I'm a big right to repair person, and I guess that's just what gets at it, is right to repair versus keeping your little ones and zeros secret. It's like, dude, I can just desolder the microcontroller, but I'm putting in all this effort so that I can plug into these car parts and have them feel and act like car parts. And I suppose they would still if I did a Frankenstein to them, but it's more fun to buy something and plonk it on your desk and then figure out how to get it to work. An adjacent buddy to the field. I ask if you want. I don't want to put anybody out. You know, if he's like, what? Why would you ask me that? We're no longer friends. I know that won't happen, but still, it's like, I don't want to put anybody out. A lot of the stuff that we do on this stream is hacking stuff, right? Having the whole thing built and be the final project and be done is not the goal. Our goal is to hack into things. So I'm either going to think about, he does programming for Harman Kardon. I see. That might be a slightly different bus system. Those have gone to like an optical bus. You have the right to spend $1,000 to get access to the complete data set for a month. Literally just 10 minutes, cut, paste. I have all the data that I would ever need and more. And what? And what then? I will have spent all of that money. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna get to hacking stuff more. I'm gonna try to figure out what direction I go in. If I want to do a long form hack of this thing where I just run through, for each address, I run through everything that we can do with 2 bytes, 4 bytes, 6 bytes. Sorry, 2, 4, 8. I don't think that's a good use of time. So I may want to just finish making this into a CAN bus adapter. We got distracted by this because it's so cool. And we were able to get all of the button throws from it, and we're able to see it in sleep mode. We're able to wake it up from sleep mode even. But what we can't do at the moment is set the backlight, which is really very disappointing because there are backlights on these. We've seen them. We saw the LEDs. They're very carefully positioned to illuminate these clearly. Yeah, where's the can't to CAN bus? The can't. I've been rewatching the first season of Expanse, and it's very nice. The guy who let me use his login retired and then kicked the bucket. I had access for 15 years. Oh man. Yeah, look, there's somebody out there. Do I know any mechanics? No. The one quit. Damn it. So yeah, I don't know. My stream is wide reaching, but not quite enough. We're like on the precipice of being able to find somebody who could go, oh yeah, let me just print out that PDF and email it to you. There's got to be some other way. There's got to be some other way. I think there is, to either find the information or to hack the information out of it. But try the pubs near BMW factory. Yeah. You know, I could do the long form brute forcing. We already got it to do what we wanted it to do though. LinBus, lucky for us, is relatively simple in its implementation. And if you bit bang everything, yeah, Friday happy hours, I got to rush. I got to get there now. It's happy hour. Maybe I can find a BMW place. There's a couple car dealers near here. Actually, that's the other thing. There's a couple car dealers near here. Make some friends, maybe grease some palms for the service technicians, because they'll have a copy of that stuff. That's the Volvo place we know really well. It's not the BMW. Is there a BMW? Yeah, there is. I know where it is. Just ask the guys that are standing there. Hey, I'm a random person. I need to know, like, hex frames to send to a device for a car that's obsolete. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look around. We'll see if I can find the information. I don't think we're gonna do the long form hacking, so I need to move on in the next stream, and we'll work on some side stuff, and then I'll do get back to the CAN bus, because the whole purpose of what I'm doing is to get everybody on CAN bus and get a Raspberry Pi on CAN bus and get them, flinging their signals all over the place. And we can do that without these things. We can do that without backlighting them. The backlighting is just the icing on the cake, and so we got a little distracted with that, making our own little device. But it's fun. I had a good time. I will catch you all later. I'm going to throw the end card up. My Blue Sky, I still haven't gotten back. I don't know if I'll ever get it back, so I probably should just remove it from there. I have shockingly little social media content, and I think you should too. I think it's healthier for the brain to get away from the news, social media, go touch grass if you can, or something. Sit down and do something quiet instead of having the brain vein pop out all the time. I'm back, not tomorrow, because I'm still a little bit sick. I'm still not quite feeling great. Back on Tuesday. So you guys have 2 days, 20 hours, and 31 minutes to figure yourselves out and get back here. And then we're going to work on something fun. I have a couple things that I need to repair that'll probably be fun to repair. So you need a good general diagnostician that doesn't work at a branded dealership. The local place that I have that works on cars hates me because when I take it in there, it's always like a negligence report. Like, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong with your car. What have you done to your... And so, like, I don't think they'll help me. I'll have to figure it out. But anyway, we will... Yeah, I don't have followage, unfortunately, Poober. I apologize. The time for me to implement followage was when my stream first started and yesterday. And I haven't done that. That was an accident. That's all right. We don't do that because I don't like pitching contests. Let's see. Is anybody crazy online right now that I can throw you guys at? That is just coded bother language for is flatulent gonad online. No, Carhol's still doing DayZ. Garrick Durock is not English language, but he is doing ham radio, which is pretty cool. We got a Ghost Freak raid one time. Ghost Freak 66. He thought I was making a suppressor, which I guess we could do at some point. I would just have to register it properly and pay a $200 tax stamp. Anyway, I can click name cards. Yeah, there you go. Do that. That's easy enough. I will be back on Tuesday. I'll catch you then. That would have been really smooth if I had gone to the stream right then, because it would have seemed like I've got my shit together when it comes to production. Because you have this nice little outro and you say, see ya everybody, have a good weekend, and then the thing goes bonk, and then there you go, the stream is